Well, more Democrats in Congress are pushing for President Biden to drop out of the race today. And in response, Biden is appealing for party unity.
Yeah, this all comes in the wake of former President Trump's address at the Republican National Convention last night, marking his first speech since the assassination attempt. Fox's Sharon Crowley is in the newsroom with more. Sharon, I did try to watch some of this, but I had to turn the TV off.
It was 92 minutes.
It was going into midnight.
Yeah, I stayed awake for all 93 minutes, I think it was.
12:02 a.m.
Then a little bit, so it's been a late night for me, but I'm with you today. I want to update you guys on both the Democrats and the Republicans. President Biden says that he's looking forward to returning to the campaign trail next week. His doctor says that his COVID-19 symptoms are improving, but what's not going away, lingering doubts about his candidacy. 10 more members of Congress want him to drop off the ticket, making that announcement today. Meantime, Republicans are taking a victory lap after the end of the Republican National Convention, where former President Trump formally accepted his party's nomination.
The assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life.
Former President Trump detailing the attempt on his life during the final night of the Republican National Convention.
You'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. If I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight.
After a somber beginning, his tone became more combative.
If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done.
It was a bit of a long speech, but here's a man who nearly died last week, and I think he is so appreciative. He has so much gratitude for being alive today, and also he has a long list of accomplishments, and that was what his speech really was about.
As Republicans tried to portray party unity, Democrats appear to remain divided about the top of the ticket. Powerful Democrats, including former President Obama and former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, have reportedly told Biden he's losing support and can't win in November. President Biden is in Delaware recovering from COVID-19. He did get some support today from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
President Biden, as I've said repeatedly, is our nominee. He has a tremendous track record of success. He's one of the most accomplished American presidents in our history, and he has the vision, I believe, the ability, the capacity, and the track record to make a case to the American people that will result in us being successful in November.
I think that Biden is eventually going to see, despite his desire to stay in the race, that he doesn't have a path to victory because he's not going to have support. The donors are completely drying up. And as with any campaign, especially presidential campaign, you have to have money.
And speaking of money and donors, it's being widely reported that Vice President Kamala Harris was on a call just this afternoon with donors. President Biden still resisting any calls for him to end his re-election bid. He says that he's ready, as we said, to return to the campaign trail next week and to counter what he described as a dark vision laid out by Republican Donald Trump. Bianca, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Jan, thanks so much.